Hello and welcome to Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 16 episode number 9 for Sunday the 22nd of September 2024. Hello there everybody and welcome to the show. Sorry I'm looking a bit fuzzy this evening. We've had problems with the camera, so I know I look like I'm in soft focus. I think we've got a bit of grease on the camera lens. It's an embedded lens, so I can't just easily wipe it. Actually, I am going to wipe it because it's driving me mad already that it's like that. So yeah, I am going to try and do something with it. We'll try and fix it, shall we? Because this old camera that I've got here is actually way better. This is the old camera, this one that you're now looking at, and it's way better than the fancy modern camera. Isn't always the way. So hello, welcome to the show. Right, I have to take screws out of this to get at the lens to clean it. It's absolutely insane, because what I have to do, you see, is I have to do that. And take that screw out. And then I have to take that screw out as well. It's bonkers. And then I can hopefully clean the lens. Any better? Oh, that looks better. What about this front panel thing? Which is not another piece of guff to get in the way. No. Is that any better? Oh yes, it might be. Right, I will screw that back together and then we'll get on with it, shall we? Yeah, good start, and mend the cameras as we go. But yeah, I hate these cameras. The old camera, the one that you're looking on now, is a Trust webcam, and it's round, and it's so old it doesn't actually do a widescreen image, it only does a 4:3 image. So we crop it for this, so you're not actually looking at the whole image now. You're only looking at part of a 4:3 image. But I can like manually focus it, and I can do like macro shots with it and everything, so I can focus it right in. This modern one, I can't focus it or anything. It's nowhere near as good. Nowhere near. Right, let's see if that has that improved things any. Yeah, it looks a bit better. If I've gone wrong way with it. That's better. That's more like it. How does that look now? There you go. There. Much better. Much better. I'm having a day for repairing things today. I've mended a grandfather clock as well today. I'm quite pleased about. It had started getting very slow with its chimes and things, so I've had it all apart and oiled it today. So I'm doing quite well on the old clock front and things. Hello to everybody who is in the chat. Just looking who we've got, and Christopher. is with us. Wesley's with us. Gambo is with us. What is this bit you're looking for, Gambo? It's disappeared off the top of my chat screen, so I'll put it on again, because it's disappeared off the top of my list. I can't see it now. Gambo's actually watching us via Facebook, I think. It's where the handset cord enters the bottom of the phone case. On the Ram's headphone. Ram's headphone? What's a Ram's headphone? I asked myself. Wesley says, "Is that a soft lint-free cloth, Andy?" It was a soft paper tissue, actually, Wesley. Yeah, much better. Much better, Wesley says, yeah. Much better. Cracky, I am a bit too high definition now, I feel. Oh, cracky. Let me get away from that big view. I'm scaring myself. Right, there we go. Right, yeah, hello. Welcome to the show. By the way, if any of you are in London, they need a carpenter at 10 Downing Street, apparently. Yeah, because they've got a cabinet that's falling apart. Don't have to take any tools with you. The place is already full of them. Think about it. Right. Sorry, I heard that about an hour ago. I just thought that was really, really good. Yeah. So, yeah. Brilliant, we are here again. It's Sunday evening, that camera's moving. This is why I took it apart in the first place, because it doesn't stay where you put it, sort of thing. The little gimbal thing on it is loose, so it doesn't stay where you want it to stay. Gambo says, looking for the rubber grommet on a 300 type wall phone, where the handset cord enters the case. Hang on. So what you're looking for, Gambo, is that. Am I right? Yeah. You know, that's quite a thing if you need one, isn't it? Could probably 3D print a plastic one, but it might not be very rubbery. It might not be very rubbery. I wonder if you can get like a rubbery filament though that you could put in a 3D printer and print one. But yeah, we could probably print one of those. Yeah. Could give it a go. See if we can 3D print it. We could try that at some point. Take that one out. 3D print them. Because if you want one, Gamble, there's probably other people who want one as well. Hang on now. I've knocked everything about now. Got stuff everywhere. I'm not having a very good start today, am I? What's Christopher up to? He said last Saturday he filmed the last Braintree loco hull train. I think it... Oh, Brainsdale, not Braintree. Yeah, I think Braintree might not be near where Christopher is. It's the last loco hull train, he says. Rode the last loco hull train to Warragall Station. They have such brilliant names in Australia, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, right. Brilliant. Yes, Christopher. Yeah, well, The last loco haul train. We don't have loco haul trains in this country anymore. Talking of trains, has anybody been watching Night Sleeper on the TV? The sort of drama thing, Night Sleeper. There are so many things wrong with it, I can't even begin to tell you. The train actually changes shape partway through it. But yeah, just suspend all disbelief and everything. It's actually quite a good thing to watch. I've seen all 6 episodes on it. I think episode 3 is on TV later this evening on BBC One. I've seen all 6. It's a right piece of hokum, but it is quite entertaining to watch. There are worse things on the telly on a Sunday night, let's say. Yeah. Cool. Stuff that has been happening this week. A phone has arrived. A mystery package has arrived. That aren't that much of a mystery, because I think I now know who's sending them. But where have I put it? Oh, it's down here. Look! We're getting horribly modern now with push button phones and things, aren't we? You notice how modern we're getting. But this is an interesting one because it's got a start and a hash key on it, and I've made an interesting discovery about this as well. If you turn this over, it's got a little black piece of plastic here, and if you get like a little screwdriver or something under it, you can ping this little black piece of plastic out like that, and there's 2 switches under there. Now I can't see anything marked on these 2 switches, so I have no idea what they do. Can anybody enlighten me as to what they do, them 2 switches? But when you plug this phone in, and here's something that I didn't know. Maybe some of you guys did know this, but I didn't know. And I'm getting my dial tone here from my PBX, yeah? So to get an outside line, I have to dial a 9. So I do 9. And it's not giving me a line. Hang on, let me do it again. 9. Done it that time. Right, so it's given me, I think there was a capacity charging up inside the phone. So it gave me a line by dialing 9. But it doesn't do it straight away, and I think, I can't hear any pulses. But I think it's doing pulses because I can't hear any tones either. Just press it, and now there's a line there. So it like waits for like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, although you can't hear them, and then it does a 9. Yeah. So I can't hear anything as I'm dialing. But I've made a discovery. If I press star and then 9, I get a beep. And it dials the 9 by DTMF then. So, if you've got one of these Viscount phones, and it's doing, and it's got that, but it's got the star and the hash key, and it's doing pulse dialing, if you want to dial by DTMF, you can press the star key and then it does all the DTMF tones. Now, I don't know if I can prove this to you. Alright, I'm going to hold this up to there. So, now I'm holding this. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not, but I'm holding the phone right up to the microphone. Alright, doing 9 now. No sound, but do it now with a star first. And you get a beep, or at least you should get a beep. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that's what I've discovered this week. So if you've got a phone that does tone dialing, but it is set to pulse dialing, press star and then it'll do tone. At least these Viscounts do. Do any other phones do that? Does anybody know? Let me know. Gambo says, can't watch Night Sleeper as I've not got a license. In fact, probably breaking the law watching you live. No, you're not breaking the law by watching me live. Gambo? It's Gambo said it, isn't it? Yeah. No, you're not breaking the law by watching YouTube live. In fact, I think it's very dodgy that the BBC now say you're breaking the law if you watch ITV live, because what have ITV got to do with the licence fee? I think it's very dodgy that. But no, as far as I can see, you can watch what you want on here. And I believe if your screen is under a certain size, and if your TV is powered by a 12 volt battery, like some portables in caravans are, I believe you don't have to have a license fee for them. Well, you certainly didn't used to have a license fee for them. So yeah, that may be the thing that may be the thing. Flick the switch, says Wesley. Yeah, but which one, Wesley? What it says, couldn't hear the tone, flick the switch and it'll do DTMF by default. Yeah, but why is there 2 switches? That's what I want to know. If there's 2 switches, it says one will be for loop disconnect and one will be for MF. The other, look at it now, the other will be for time break recall or earth recall. Right. Let me flick one switch then. Right, I flicked one switch. Now, so let's now see what it does. Still behaving the same, so I'll flick that switch back and I'll flick the other switch and I'll see what that does. Right, so now it should do tones by default. and it does. But what happens if I press start? Oh, diddly squat. Okay, so that's that. That's answered that then. So as you look at it on the back, if you want to switch to tone dialing, it's the bottom switch of the two that you have to flip across. The bottom one. Sound cool. But yeah, I didn't know you could use tone dialing by pressing the star key. I'm guessing that is for when you were dialing through an exchange that was loop disconnect and pulsing away, and then you got to somewhere like a bank and it said press 9 or something, and the bank thing didn't do the loop disconnect. It had to have tone dialing, so you could then press star and then just use tones. I'm guessing that's why it does that, but I never knew that worked previously. What it says, now see if you can transfer a call between your extensions using the recall button. I don't know quite how we do that, actually. No, I can't. Let's flick the top switch across again. See what that does. Because if I dial the 9, now if I press this, it should dial the 9. No. Says using your other phone, right, put that back to where it was, call the extension that the Viscount is plugged into, which I think is 21, isn't it? Right, it's 20. Transfer a call. Revelation should use time break transfer. Hello? Alright. I can put it into. Then try to call to another extension using the Viscount's recall. Right. So, you're reckoning I should be able to press recall on the Viscount then and transfer it elsewhere. Oh, now it has now given me a thing there. Yes, it is working. It is letting me transfer it. And if I press that again, I think I've got it back now. Yeah, I've got it back now. Oh, that's clever. Yeah, I didn't know it did that. Yeah, very good that. What does it say? If it doesn't work, try flicking the first switch the other way. It does work, Wesley. It does work. So yeah. Yeah, so if you take a call, let me show you what I was doing. If you take a call through the revelation on this, alright, then you can press this little button here and it goes quiet, and then you can dial another extension number and it will ring that extension. You can put it through, or you can press that again to get it back. Brilliant. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. I didn't know it did all that. The Viscount. Yeah, they're quite a nice phone. I want one of the sort of burnt orangey coloured ones now. Yeah, that sort of, yeah. You know what I mean? Don't think I've got one that colour. I've got the other colours. I've got a green one down here, and I'd already got one this colour, but it wasn't a DTMF one. So I'm now looking for a burnt orange one. But yeah, very good Viscounts. Yeah. Still not figured out how to get one apart though. So that's a thing for later. Thank you for that, Wesley. A mine of information as always is Wesley. Tan coloured, he says. I thought that was the tan one. Arthur says, I like the white ones best. White one? Did they do white ones? I've never seen a white one. White? Really? White? They did them in white? Christopher says his TF200 is a similar sort of idea. It's a tone button to do switches and the keypad to tone from pulse when the phone is set to pulse. Yeah, I didn't know he did it, Christopher. I found out totally by accident. Beige. That one is beige, says Wesley. So that one's beige, and the other one is tan. Then is it the sort of orangey one? That's what Thor keeps telling me his legs are. He keeps telling me his legs are tan. I keep telling him he's black and ginger, but he insists he's black and tan. Arthur says, yes, there was white. I've got one. Wesley says it's ice grey, often appears white when faded. Ice grey. Well, ice is white, isn't it? How could it be ice grey? Surely it's ice white, isn't it? I'm going to have a look now, see if I can find a picture of one. Yeah. Yeah, apparently they did do one. It's not a very big picture, but there it is. Ice grey, otherwise known as dirty white. I would call it. Yeah. There you go. We learn something new every day, don't we? I like the dark coloured keys on that. Yeah, I like the dark coloured buttons on it. Those rubbery buttons remind me very much of Sinclair computers around about the same era. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, cool. Very good that. I quite like that. Alright, got to get rid of that. Get rid of that. And open. Oh, hang on now, what have I done now? Oh, that's it. Sorry, pressing the wrong buttons. What does it say? The Kermit Green and Burgundy. Yeah, I've got Kermit Green one here. And a Burgundy one. That may be what I'm thinking of, the Burgundy one. Where does it say? Did it have a black handset? Not that I know of. That's the one that does off-hook dialing. So if it does off-hook dialing, it has a black handset, does it? Gabo says, I was watching an episode of Minder and there was an upside down 706 wall phone. Yeah, they do pop up actually, quite often in things. There's one pop up in Are You Being Served? No, they did a remake of Are You Being Served a few years ago, just one episode. And I'm pretty sure there was an upside down 706 or an upside down 746 in that on the shop floor, stuck on the end of one of the counters. Arthur says I can send you some spare parts for them too, Andy. I don't think we need any spares at the minute, Arthur. They're all working at the minute. They're all seem to be operational at the moment. I'm quite pleased actually. It says Arthur says I've got one in camel beige. Chris said, did you get the photo of the phone in the carry-on, Phil? I think it's here somewhere, Christopher. Well, it says no, the one you showed a few minutes ago. Gambo says that phone in the in Are You Being Served was originally an ivory 741. Yeah, I think it was originally, but it's an upside down phone in the remake, I do believe. Arthur says you've got a grey one, Andy. Got a grey one, Andy. No, I don't think I have, Arthur. I don't know. To be honest with you, there's so many phones now. People say, have you got such and such? And I haven't got a clue. This is part of the problem now of space being limited. Originally, in the loft that you see me broadcast out of sometimes, there was all sort of racking shelving, and there all the phones were laid out. But there's so many phones now, there must be 3 or 4 times more in boxes than there are on those racks. And I forget what's in the boxes. So so I don't know if I've got a great one, if I'm entirely honest with you. I'm not sure. So I don't know if I've got a grey one or not. I've got no idea. I will have to get things out and figure out what's what. Wesley, which Carry On film was it Christopher was on about? I will try and find the photo, Wesley. Of course, I can't remember off the top of my head. Hang on. Let me see if I can get the photo that Christopher sent. Right, this is always a bit tricky on this computer for some reason. Where are we? Thunderbird Mail. Right. Telephones in carry-ons. Right, these pictures are too big to fit on my screen. So I can only show you one. Hang on, can I do it that way? Yeah, right. Right, so me. Right, so this one is from Carry On Girls, apparently. And it's a white trim phone, as you can see. And then I can find the next one. This is why it's really hard to get pictures up out of emails. It's really hard. And that is also apparently from Carry On Girls. Not sure what they've got there. The one on the right seems to be a black 746, but it looks like a 746 with a metal finger wheel on it, which is weird. And the other one is some sort of pyramid phone, a 200 series by the looks of it. But yeah, has that black 746 got a metal finger wheel on it there? Right, let's have a look, see if there's another picture. I'm not sure what that one is from. Is that from Carry On Girls, or is that a different Carry On film? Christopher will tell us. But we're right, let me see if I can show you that one. And that is another one with Sid James there, and the woman whose name I never know what her name is. That woman, she's in like nearly all the Carry On films, and I've never known her name. If anybody can tell me what her name is, I will give her a credit. But yeah, different phones again there. So yeah, a thing of their time. I think the Carry On films. I think you'll find this camera's moving, isn't it? It's gradually pointing upwards. Have you noticed? Right, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Right, because it should be down there like that. Yeah. All right. Dominic says you can watch all the Carry-Ons for free on the Internet Archive. Can you really? That's interesting. Joan Sims, Bill says. I did know her name. I do know the name Joan Sims. I just hadn't associated it with her. Thank you, Bills. Louis is here. Louis Techniques. He says, I'm just a beginner. I've started collecting the old phones and the Viscounts. Well, you're in the right place, Louis, because we've got lots of them here, and a lot of the people in the chat have got lots of them as well. Yeah. So yeah, you're in the right place. If you've got any questions, ask away. Arthur says, Joan Sims died in 2002. Great actress. Yes, she was. I think everybody in the Carry On films was good. Yeah. I do enjoy the Carry On films. Yeah. Everybody in them was really good. Where was Joan born? Says Bills. I've got no idea, Bills. Restream says, I've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Have I really? That's nice. Restream, who we pay to do this, appears to be spamming itself. Arthur says, no, she died in 2001. I remember I was in Holland at the time. All the photos are from the same film, says Christopher, which I believe was Carry On Girls. Thanks, said Louis. It's a great channel. You're very welcome, Louis. You've got plenty of stuff to go back and watch. That is for certain. Go back, and because this live show, this is on actually season 16 of this live show. So yeah, you can go back and watch loads of them on YouTube. Some of them are telephone related, some of them are not so telephone related. We go very, very, very off topic sometimes. Very off topic. Like a couple of weeks ago, we went into children's TV shows of the 1970s. That'll spark something again, I'm sure. But yeah. While we're on the subject of telephones, has anybody figured out what this is yet? I know it's a bit out of a handset, but what I want to know is what handset it comes out of. Is it American? I'm used to American things having like little orange numbers printed on them, and this hasn't. But it was in. I found it in a box of bits, and I didn't immediately recognise what it is. So I just wonder if anybody knows what that is. Dominic says, the Carry On films are objectively rubbish, but I love that it's fully aware of that and embraces it. Yes, it's a seaside postcard on film, isn't it? That's what it is. That's what I've always thought of the Carry On films as. I've thought of them as a traditional British seaside postcard, actually on film. That's the way I look at it. Bill said, Andy, that was a great idea you had last week, a telephone meet to show our collections. We could meet in the middle of the country somewhere, or if you host us on a live stream, if that's possible. Or if you host... So you mean doing it virtually, Bills, on a live stream? Yes, it's kind of possible. It's difficult to do on a live stream where you've got a lot of people on the same stream, because it all kind of has to go through here to do the video switching, and it's how much internet bandwidth it takes up. It would be possible to do it with one guest on per week, let's say. So it would be possible to do that. Where we invite a different guest on each week. That should be possible. Restream tell me that's possible. We've not actually tried it yet. So if you want to be the guinea pig, Bills, we can certainly have a go at that. Arthur says, I think Hertfordshire, was it not? Oh, where Joan Sims was born. Christopher says, Andy, did you know Viscount phones were supplied to New Zealand GPO as well? I didn't, but it makes sense because the previous dial phones were supplied to New Zealand, weren't they? So it kind of makes sense that they carried on with the Viscounts. What you said, most likely exported by or made under license to STC, Christopher. Yeah, they are. Do only STC make Viscounts? I think probably they're all made by ST. Are they all made by STC? Yeah, I think they probably are. Fat Hobbit is here. He says that the early Carry On films were the best. Kenneth Williams and Charles Hawtrey was so funny. Ow, matron. But he said absolutely, Mr. Hobbit. I don't know. Some of the later ones are quite good. It's funny how some of them are really well known and others are not known at all. Right. Carry On at Your Convenience is a well-known one, isn't it? Carry On Up the Khyber, Carry On Doctor. I believe there's a Carry On Again Doctor, isn't there? Carry On Girls is a well-known one. Carry On Up the Jungle. Carry On Camping. Carry On Camping is probably my favourite, because I look at that now with different eyes, knowing what they went through to make Carry On Camping, because for some weird reason they decided to film it in the middle of winter, and where they were filming, the field was just mud, and they actually painted it, spray painted it green to make it look like grass. And when you look at Carry On Camping, you can see that it's green mud. Bill says, so did New Zealand and Australia not be trusted to make their own telephones? I think they made them, Bills. I think they just made them to other people's designs. I think they were actually made out there. I don't think they shipped like thousands and millions of them out there. I think they were probably made out there, but to other people's designs. Would that be right, Christopher? Do you think? In for me. They've all got it in for me. Yeah. Well, all right. We're starting. See, this is what I say about it going off topic. We're now going into the quotes from the Carry On films now. Dominic says the producer of the Carry On films was notoriously tight and always paid a strict flat fee for all the cast. Yeah, it was, Dominic, and they don't get any money for like merchandising now either. I think famously there was a T-shirt with Barbara Windsor on it that she never got a penny for. Bill says, oh no Andy, ruined now, Carry On Camping. Yeah, you can't unsee it when you see it, Bill. That's the thing about it. You see it and you can't unsee it, and you look at it and you think, well, if it's summer on the campsite, why are there no leaves on the trees and stuff like that? But yeah, it is green mud. Can I get a still from Carry On Camping that demonstrates it? Let me have a little look. Let me see if I can find a still from Carry On Camping that demonstrates the problem. That one's no good. I'm looking for one that demonstrates it. I mean, there are some leaves on the trees in this shot, but you can see it's autumn and they are turning brown. Let me... look at the mud. that is, I assure you, that in the middle there, just sort of in Hattie Jakes' high line there, that is like mud painted green. I assure you. And there are other shots where there's no leaves at all on the trees. So yeah. Let's carry on camping for you. Arthur says on the buses was excellent. Yeah, not a great fan of on the buses. Made at Elstree actually on the buses. But yeah, not. I was never a great fan of on the buses. Wesley says there's a gaff on Carry On Camping that I notice every time I see it. It's where Barbara Windsor has the incident when exercising. You mean you spotted a gaff in that scene? I didn't think people would be looking for gaffs at that particular moment in Carry On Camping. Arthur says Bless This House was great too. Was Bless This House the sitcom that had Sid James in it? Was that Bless This House? That's not Hattie Jakes, says Wesley. Who was it then? Who was that? Who was that then? On that I can't go back to it now because I've like deleted it off my system. But I thought that was Hattie Jakes. Because she used in some of the carry-ons, didn't she, Hattie Jakes? Angela Douglas is stunning in the Carry On film, says Gambo. Likely Lads, says Louis. Yeah, the Likely Lads were good. Yeah, I used to like the Likely Lads. Yeah. Ant and Dec were going to remake the Likely Lads at one point. I think they did one episode as a pilot, and it did go out, and I think it was so poorly received that they gave up. Diana Copeland in Bless This House. Yeah, but was she with Sid James in it? I think Sid James was in Bless This House with Diana Copeland. Fairly sure it was. I don't know. Whereas he says, look at Hattie Jakes while she's exercising, and when she realises she has a headscarf on one scene and not the other. Oh. Whereas he says, Terry Scott's wife in Camping was played by Betty Marsden. Bill says, oh God, Ant and Dec would be awful. It was awful, Bills. That's why they didn't do any more. Bill says, I like Steptoe and Son. That was a horrible show to make, I think, Steptoe and Son. Christmas, Andy, did you get the photo of my New Zealand 746? Not that I can remember, Christopher. Let's put it that way. It may have got lost somewhere in the ether, that one. Bill says the true one is Laurel and Hardy. He says you can't beat Laurel and Hardy. Yeah, Laurel and Hardy are quite good. Harold Lloyd's quite good as well in some of his stuff. But yeah, Laurel and Hardy. Louis says they also remade Randall and Hopkirk. Yeah, Vic Reeves was in the new Randall and Hopkirk, wasn't he? Yeah, that was a bit rubbish. Whereas he says they had Robin Asquith in the Bless This House film, and not the usual mic. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to think of any more. Can't remember any more. It's a long time ago now. It is a long time ago, but there was great rivalry with the Carry On films. There was great rivalry between Pinewood, I think it was, where the Carry Ons were made, and Elstree, where the Confessions of ... were made. And basically they were trying to outdo each other all the time, but I think the Carry Ons were funnier. Arthur says, bless this house was Sid James, Diane Copeland, Sally Geeson and Robin Stewart. That sounds right, Arthur. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Wesley says, not in the film though, Arthur. No, it might have been different in the film. Was Sid James in the film version? Or was it after he died? Because I think Sid James died while they were making Bless This House. I think. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's all so long ago now. Yeah. Arthur says Ant and Dec did remake it and it was awful. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. It was the one where the one that Ant and Dec remade was the one where they're trying to not hear the football results. That's likely, lads. Oh, yeah. Yes. The Likely Lads. I knew it. Well, Only When I Laugh was another one around about that time. Likely Lads. It had the same bloke in it, James Bolam. Right. See, I've gone completely off topic here tonight. Completely off again. But yeah. But anyway, so I've not been doing much telephone stuff today, really. Been mending other things and that. We've got clocks and that on the bench at the moment. Still trying to repair this. Can you see what the problem is there? I'm still trying to get that fixed at the minute. I may have found another mechanism though for this same clock on eBay, so if I can get the entire mechanism, that may be the cheapest way of sorting it out. It's one of these. It doesn't tell you who made it, it just says foreign on it, and I'm reliably informed that when they say foreign on them, they're often German, and it seems like it's probably German because it's quite well made, so it could be German. But yeah, so yeah, and then I went on and mended a grandfather clock today, which I had to stand on a chair to do because obviously they're tall. I've completely lost thread of what's going on in the chat now. Totally lost it. What's happening there? So yeah, who knows? So yeah. Yes. So latest phone in other than the what's it is this one. Other than the Viscount is this. Which is a Mark 1 cased because of that shape there, 746. I have also, it's on its way to me, bought another 746 with an alphanumeric bezel on it, and it's a red one. So I shall have two like that. But this one's dated at 1973, and we've got a suspicion from people I've talked to that this Mark 1 case went up with some manufacturers, but only with some manufacturers, went up to about 1974. We think, but it depends on the manufacturer, because obviously lots of different people made them. But we think it went up to 1974. Lou said, did Sid James not die on stage? That was Tommy Cooper, I think, Louis. Arthur says he died in his dressing room at the Sunderland Empire. I didn't know that. See the things you in 1976. You see the things you learn on here. Yeah. Yeah. Arthur says Robin Asquith in the film. Where was the Bless This House film made then? Was that made at Elstree? If that was made at Elstree, that's probably why Robin Asquith is in it, because he used to do stuff at Elstree. Christopher's resent his pictures, he says. Yeah, it'll probably not get here for a while, Christopher. It doesn't seem to poll the email while I'm live streaming for some reason. But yeah. Didn't know that about Sid James. Yeah, the stuff you learn, it's incredible. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I've got a nice to go and watch Carry On film now. Which one? Yeah. Right. Right. How many Carry On films were there? That's a good question, isn't it? They were made between 1958 and 1992, apparently. 1958, 1992. I know what the last one was. The one that you never see is the last one that they made, the last of the original ones, really. 1976, and they had a little break until 1978, and it's Carry On England. Then in 1978, they did Carry On Emmanuel, which is another one. It has been on television, Carry On Emmanuel. but they'd really run out of steam by that time. If you want the full list of the carry-ons, it started in 1958 with Carry On Sergeant. Then you got Carry On Nurse in 1959, Carry On Teacher also in 1959, Carry On Constable in 1960, Carry On Regardless in 1961, Carry On Cruising in 62, Carry On Cabby in 63, Carry On Jack in 64, Carry On Spying in 1964 as well. Also in 1964, Carry On Cleo. They were busy that year, weren't they? Carry On Cowboy in 1965. That's not a well-known one. You don't see that very often. Carry On Screaming in 1966. That's got to be a contender for one of the best ones, I think. Carry On Don't Lose Your Head in 1967. Carry On Follow That Camel in 67. Carry On Doctor in 67. Again, a busy year. Carry On Up the Khyber in 1968. Carry On Camping in 1969. Complete with the muddy grass. Carry On Again Doctor in 1969. Carry On Up the Jungle in 1970. See, I thought Carry On Up the Jungle was earlier than that. Carry On Loving in 1970, another one that you don't see very often. Carry On Henry in 1971. Carry On At Your Convenience in 1971. Again, I thought that one was earlier than that, but apparently it's not. Carry On Matron in 1972. Again, what I thought it was earlier than 1972. Carry On Abroad in 1972. Carry On Girls in 1973. Carry On Dick in 1974. Again, I thought that one was from the 60s. Carry On Behind in 1975. Carry On England in 1976. And then there was a compilation called That's Carry On in 1977. In 1978 they did Carry On Emmanuel, and then the disastrous, truly disastrous Carry On Columbus in 1992. If you ain't seen it, you ain't missed anything, honestly. Most of the original team were dead by 1992. Jim Dale did his absolute best to keep it going, but yeah, basically Jim Dale was more or less the only one of the main originals still on, and yeah, it was hopeless. Carry On Columbus. So yeah, there is your full list of all the carry-ons. Maybe they should make one now. I don't think they'd get away with it, would they? All the PC brigade would be out to nobble them before they did a day's shooting, wouldn't they now? But yeah, Carry On Camping and Carry On Screaming, I think two of the best ones. Carry On Screaming is very, very funny. Yeah. Do you mind if I smoke? You have to have seen it to understand it. Right, where are we? Carry On Cleo, says Bills. Was that on my list? Sergeant, Nurse, Teacher, Constable, Regardless, Cruising, Cabby, Jack, Spying, Cleo. Yes, Carry On Cleo was 1964. Apparently. What year was Carry On Jack, says Bills? 1964 as well. Jeff Davis has joined us. Hello, Jeff. Still afternoon there, he says. Whereabouts are you then, Jeff? Sorry, I missed it. I was rabbiting and it all disappeared off the top of the screen. But yeah, you must not be in the UK, if it's still afternoon. Where are you? America, perhaps? Are you in America? It'll still be afternoon in America. Dominic Meakin said they ought to do Carry On Labour with Kenneth Williams as Keir Starmer. Yeah, nothing funny about them. They're just a tragedy, they are. Yeah. Could say something else there. East Coast of America, says Jeff. North, East, South, West. Alright. Yeah. On the cold side of America, as I call it. Yeah. The New York side. Yeah. Whereabouts are you, Jeff? So we can put a pin in the map. What state are you in? I don't think we generally have anybody on regularly from America, do we? We have people on from like Europe and that sometimes, and Christopher, of course, regularly from Australia, and I think we've had somebody from New Zealand before, if I remember right. But I don't think we generally get people from America. So welcome, Jeff, from America. It's normally about old telephones and stuff. I'll make you feel right at home. Make you feel right at home. We've got one of those. That's an American one. Converted, unfortunately, from modular. For those of you that know about American phones. But yeah, we've got one or two American things. Quite hard to get American phones over here, but when they do come up, they don't fetch much money, strangely. And I think it's because people don't know what they are, or don't think there's any interest in them over here. But you occasionally get an American 500 series or something like that over here. But what's really hard to find are things like Starlines and Princess phones. But I did manage to get 2 Princesses, and this is one of them. And when I got this, it was pink. But what had happened, as I've said on here before, somebody had wrapped a PVC line cord around it, and the pink, where the plastic of the line cord had touched the pink paint that this had been painted with, the paint had turned sticky, and you could just rub it off with your hands. So I have now started removing all the paint to get it back to its original sort of tan-ish colour. Had this genuinely been a pink one, it would be quite rare. But it's not. But what I don't know is if they made these actually in pink plastic or if they painted them. Because in America, as Jeff will tell you, in America they do have a thing about painting telephones. Western Electric did used to do it, and they actually did quite a good paint job on them. You couldn't normally tell they were painted unless you really looked at them, took the cases off and things and looked on the inside. Jeff says, funny enough, I work for the phone company AT&T now. He says it was Bell South when I started 30 years ago. Yeah, oh crikey, yeah. Those were the days. Western Electric, the manufacturing arm of AT&T, built those old phones to last forever. I have a large collection. Should open my own museum someday. Strange you say that, Jeff. We were talking about that only last week, was it? Yeah. Bill says, did that light up like the trim phone? Yes, it does, Bills. Yes. They do. Oh, hang on. Does that one light up? Some did and some didn't. I don't know if this particular one does or not. I think it does. Let's have a look. I will open it up and we will have a look and see if it does light up. Now, I have to remember how you do this. I think it's that screw in there. And that screw in there. And like all American phones, it comes apart much easier than a British phone. Now actually, and yes, they do light up. It does light up because, or it would if it was wired, because what it's got, you see, it's got a light bulb there, and there's like this clear bit of plastic that goes over the top of the dial plate, so that light bulb shines into the edge of this clear bit of plastic, and then the light gets caught inside the plastic like fibre optics, and the idea is it bounces around. I don't know how good it would be in reality, because I've not actually wired it up. What they did with these modular connectors and things is you plug the phone into the mains basically, and you have a little transformer box that sends out a low voltage power to your light bulb, but it sends it through the line cord of the phone. So the transformer box, I think you plug your line cord from your wall socket into the transformer box, and then the transformer box has like another line cord that plugs into the phone, and it's got like 4 cores up it. 2 cores are the leg A and B for the phone, and 2 are for the actual light that actually got like whatever it is going up on 12 volts or 6 volts or whatever it is. I don't know off the top of my head, I can't remember. But yeah, so that should light up better than a trim phone because it's not relying on tritium tubes to glow in the dark. So yeah, that should light up. It's a round to it job. I will get it finished one day, and I mean, no hope of getting one of those transformer boxes in the UK, but I'm sure we'll be able to make something that will do the same job. Because just finding the Princess phone in the UK is very, very hard to come by. In the UK, the Princess phone, very hard to find. They're just not generally available here. Have I put that on right? It looks right, but it also kind of looks too high. Yeah. Nice smooth dials on American phones. Yeah, always quite smooth. I'm always quite impressed with them. There you go. So that's one of the 2 princesses that we've got here. Jess says, our landline phones in the UK powered by 48 volts DC, like they are here. Yeah, basically. Yeah, sort of around about that. Yeah. Yeah. Dominic says, are the American dials nicer? They're nicer than the Dial 21s, Dominic, definitely. Dial 12s are quite good. Dial, you know, but yeah, they're smoother than the Dial 21s. The Dial 21s started to go a bit rubbishy. Bill says, did they ever release the Princess telephone in the UK? No, they didn't. What you can get, and you can still get them, is a modern replica that is actually a push button phone that looks like a Princess. Like you can get a phone that looks like a 500 series but isn't. And they're very plasticky and terrible. But no, the proper Princess never came out in the UK. Bill says American dials seem smaller. No, I don't think so. I'm just looking at them now. No. No, I don't think they are. I think they're about the same size. Christopher says, did SDC make Viscounts in red? Yes. A sort of dark red, a burgundy sort of colour, I believe. I think somebody mentioned it earlier, didn't they? Yeah, Arthur there, look, it says, Christopher, yes, SDC made sort of burgundy red, hard to describe the colour. Yeah, they did, a sort of dark red burgundy sort of, yeah, it's one of those colours that's a kind of mix of colours. It's not just a straight colour. You know, like the Concorde blue phones are not quite blue and not quite green, but they're somewhere in between. The red Viscount was a bit like that. Gambo says, I seem to have knocked on subtitles for your stream. Really? Can it subtitle it live, Gambo? That's amazing. Global thermonuclear war, bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Let's see how it deals with that. Bill says, I have a wall Western Electric Tiny, and yes, Viscount red, tan, grey, beige, green, bay and grey. A Western Electric Tiny. Is that like one of these skeleton things? It's more or less just a dial and a handset that goes on the wall. I've got one of those. I've never quite figured out how to wire it up. Wesley says, that Viscount, that red Viscount, is similar in colour to the body of the red Snowden trim phone. Yeah, sort of dark red colour, isn't it? Yeah. Right, yes. I've not got a red trim phone anywhere to show you. But yeah, it's darker than that. It is darker than that. That red. If you look at that, you see now where the sort of shaded box with Christopher's comment is, and it's making the top of that handset look a slightly darker colour. That slightly darker colour is kind of how those Viscounts are. Wesley says there was a dark grey one too. Was there? Bill says it's a Western Electric 500 wall telephone, mustard yellow, but the dial is small. Right, okay, hang on then. A Western Electric wall telephone. Right, let me pick this. Get this camera. It's got enough wire on it to do what I want to do here. Oh yeah, it will if I do that. Right, is it one of those? Then, is that what you've got? Is it one of those? Yeah, I just realised there's a big cobweb on that. Let me just do a bit of cleaning and get rid of the big cobweb. Dear me. Yeah, is it one of those then that you've got? That actually came from America. I actually bought that from America. The postage cost more than the phone did. It was crazy. I've got to put the camera back now. Sorry about the noise, because I realised the mic's built into that camera, isn't it? Right, hang on. Are we something like that? Oh, crikey, we're wonky. But yeah, is it one of those? Basically. Gambo says the 746 red wall phone. Is the hook the same as a 706? No, it's not. You mean when you do an upside down one, like this one that we've got half built here, what you're meaning, Gambo, is when you do the upside down one, there's a metal piece that fits on here to sort of extend this so it hooks upwards, so your handset will sit on there like that without sliding off. It's a different design on a 746 to a 706. The 706 one fits on to the little escutcheon plates that a 706 has here with the two screws in. The 746 version screws in under there. There's kind of, I don't know if you can see that under there, but there's like a vent, and at each side of the vent there's two little holes for screws, and that's where the 746 version screws into. It is different. I've got a bag full of them somewhere, the 746 ones, that I managed to pick up ages ago, and I'm looking for them because I want to put one on here, and I've not managed to find them yet. But yeah, I have. They are different. The 746 ones are different to the 706 ones, and there is also a plastic version that they had on push button telephones when they wall mounted those. Of these 786s or something, when they put them on the wall, there is a plastic thing. Fungi Phipps, who appears on here sometimes, brought one to me for repairing, and I've got it at the minute. It's in a batch of things. He came and visited me a while ago, and he bought me a load of telephones and also a flip clock that he wanted repairing, and I'm working my way through them at the moment. But one of those is the one with the plastic bit on it. Chris says, on Australian eBay, I'm just seeing a fire alarm red New Zealand Post Office Viscount phone on eBay, but it may be out of a fire station. Yeah, well, they probably did them in different colours for New Zealand as well, because that happened here with things like Contemporaries, and also with the dreaded Ericaphons. We had a very limited colour range here, but other parts of the world had many more different colours. So the colour range available in New Zealand is probably different to what it was in the UK. Yeah, cool. Right. Okay. Well, I think that is probably almost a wrap for tonight, folks. It's been an interesting one again. We've run the gamut of conversation, haven't we? Today we've gone through Viscount telephones. We've gone through carry-on films. All kinds of stuff today. We've gone through, yeah, loads and loads of stuff. Oh, have I just found a phone that needs repairing? I think I may have just found one that needs a repair doing on it. You see, this is the thing, I just continually find stuff that I've forgotten about. What is that? Yeah, that needs a... Now, here's one. You know, when I was looking for a phone that needed a repair, to demonstrate the acetone slurry repair, here's a good example of one that needs it. Yeah, Concord blue, big chunk out of the case of that. Yeah, sorry, that's nothing to do with it. That's not even connected to it. But yeah, Concord blue one. As it arrived, look all dirty, and that's how we like to find them. Sort of filthy like that have not been touched for years and years and years. Then you know that generally they've not been messed with. But it's got a big chunk out the corner, so we need to do an acetone slurry repair on that to bring that back to how it should be. Dominic says, that's a shame, it looks like a nice original example. Yeah, it is, Dominic. It is. 1966. Had a price ticket on it as well. How much was it? Well, it's got a price ticket on it that says £35 on it, but I didn't pay that. Don't know where I got it from. I think I got it off eBay. So probably an antiques dealer who was trying to sell it for £35, found he couldn't, then he sold it to me on eBay for a tenner probably. That is quite likely to be what happened there, because that's what normally happens with them. Yeah, but this American one's quite nice. I do quite like these. Yeah, there's just something about them I do quite like. This is quite a late on one because it's got a plastic base on it. So this is quite a late example of these, but still quite nice and traditional. Right, that I think probably wraps it up. Dominic says, I'll have to find a Concord Blue 700 series sometime. There's quite a few of them about, Dominic. Yeah, somebody told me they were the rarest colour, but I don't think they are. I seem to see loads of them. Gabo says, you mean you got it for a £5 or less? Yeah, possibly. I never paid more than about a tenner for one. Ever. It has to be exceptional for me to pay more than a tenner for it. Christopher says, Andy, is CNET back up and running? No, not yet, Christopher. I've just not got round to it, I'm afraid. But it will be. It's on my list of things to do. I did think about it today, actually. Bill says, Andy, we have gone international. We've always been international, Bills. Christopher's always been here from Australia, so we've always got international. Yeah. Bill says, do you get kookaburras where you are, Christopher? I think you get tablets for that. Arthur says, Mark 1 Blue 706s are quite scarce. Yeah. Have I got 2 or 3? Again, I don't know. I don't know what I've got now. I really don't know. Jeff is here, says for £10 it should come with your own personal operator. Arthur says, I'd say Mark 1 Topaz Yellow 746s are rarer. Yes, I think I agree with that, Arthur. I think I agree with that. Yeah, particularly if it's got an alphanumeric dial bezel on it. But the problem with those yellow alphanumeric dial bezels, I've got a magnetic screwdriver that keeps going across the desk to the metal bit of the desk. Yeah, the problem with the alphanumeric bezels on the Topaz Yellow phones is the paint on the bezels fades and it goes white, so it looks like they've got an ivory bezel on a yellow phone, but they haven't actually. It is a yellow one that the yellow's gone out of. It's crazy because the bezel on those goes from yellow to ivory, and if you've got an ivory phone, as anybody who's had one of them sat in the sun knows, that goes from ivory to yellow. So you might be able to swap some bits around somewhere there and make the right colour combinations. Dominic says, I did see a Topaz 746L slip through the eBay net a month ago. Yeah, they are out there. They are out there. Bill says, I paid £30 for a Topaz Yellow one. It hurt a bit, but you don't find them much with letters on the dial. No, it's very rare. In fact, for a long time, people that worked for the GPO swore that 746s with lettered bezels didn't exist. Until I did some research and found they definitely did, and then I started looking and started discovering them. Arthur says, need someone to do experiments so the bezels can be repainted accurately. Yes, it's hard to do, Arthur. This has a partly repainted bezel, and as you can see, it's not perfect. The shading is not quite right. What makes it hard to do is if you are painting normally and you get your shading not quite right, you then slightly alter the colour of your paint and then put another layer on. But with this you can't do that, because what you're actually seeing there is the bottom layer of paint. So you have to get it right from the get-go, and as you see, I didn't. I got it a bit dark, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. But yeah, that was an experiment in doing that, and it was done, I believe, with enamel paint. That I think it was Humbrol enamel what I did that with. Thinking that I needed something that wouldn't come off, but this foam actually was really, really grotty when it arrived. It was probably one of the grottiest foams that's ever arrived, and the whole thing has been wiped over with acetone because it's covered in paint and it was faded and all sorts. So if you look at it, it's not as smooth and shiny as it probably should be. It has got a little bit of you can kind of see like almost brush marks in it a little bit, but if you'd seen the state it arrived in, it's a million times better now. I did do a video, I think, that featured it, something like the worst telephones ever or something like that. I did a video about it, because I knew I'd bought this box load of filthy phones, and I knew when I opened the box that they were going to be like cobwebs and spiders and stuff like that. So I did a video, I did an unboxing video to prove it. Arthur says, "Oh, you matched the paint from the back instead of the front of the bezel." No, I matched it to the paint on the bezel. But remember, you paint on the back of the bezel. Remember, the actual paint is on the reverse of the bezel. If you take the bezel off and turn it over, that's the side that's painted. So when they start out with a clear plastic bezel, what they actually do, they put the numbers on first, and then they put the background colour on. And so when you are mixing paint, you've got to get your first layer of paint exactly the right colour, because the first layer that you put on will be the layer that you see when you turn it over, and that's what makes it difficult to do. Arthur says, just wet sand the green foam and polish it out. Yeah, I could, Arthur, but it takes ages and ages and ages. Christopher's going to send me the pictures of a kookaburra, apparently. Right, okie dokie. I think that about wraps it up for today. Arthur says, yes, but the paint on the front of the bezel fades, so you have to match it with the front, as that's what you see. Yeah, oh, I see what you mean, Arthur, yeah. Yeah, like on the yellow ones, for instance. It doesn't happen so much on the green ones, but on the yellow ones that go white, yes, I do, yes, you do. That is what you have to do. Yeah, yeah, you're quite right. Yeah, yeah. So if your yellow bezel has turned white on the face, if you're touching up a bit where the paint's missing, you need to kind of use a white paint rather than a yellow paint to touch it up. Yeah, yeah. Totally agree. What would be good would be if somebody would make new clear bezels just with the numbers printed on in either white or black, so they don't have to make two times, just with the numbers printed on and the letters in white or black, and then we could paint them on the back for whatever colour we need them to be. so they'd only have to make 2. Gambo says, okay, see you peeps, think I'm working next Sunday, if not defo the following Sunday. Thanks very much, Gambo. Have fun doing your deliveries or whatever you do there, Iceland. Bill says, my topaz bezel is going a pale pink skin colour. Oh, that's interesting. Not seen one do that. They sort of fade out to white generally, but then different companies may come and perhaps they use slightly different paint or slightly different plastic. You never quite know. Yeah, but yeah, we have to have a look at the bezels. The bezels is something that is a problem with them. Could do with some decent repro bezels being done by somebody, but although you can buy repro bezels, they're all wrong because they're all printed on the face. So yeah, shame that really. Right, anyway, that is about it for today. Thanks very much for taking part, everybody, and remember, if you do want to carry on the conversation and stuff, you can at the forum, which is here, gpotelephones.proboards.com. And if you like what you see here, remember, you can always drop us a penny or two on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Andy's Shed. And the website as well, if you want to get in touch with us, the contact form on the website is andyshed.corepress.net. But that is it for another week. Thanks to everybody, as I say once again, for taking part. Cheerio, says Arthur. Got an egg sandwich to eat and washed down with lashings of hot tea. Pip pip, that sounds like an excellent idea, Arthur. I might have an egg sandwich myself, actually. So until next week, have a fantastic one, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.